रोशनी का कारवां।
This podcast is brought to you by Score Foundation.
ये है रोशनी, रोशनी, रोशनी का कारवां, रोशनी। Eyeway, ये है रोशनी का कारवां।
Hi, my name is George Abraham and welcome to Eyeway Conversations. My guest today is Aishwarya Pillay from Hyderabad. She is an extremely talented young professional. Hi, Aishwarya. Welcome.
Hi, Mr. George. Glad to be here.
So, Aishwarya, you have been involved with a number of things apart from being a rehabilitation professional. So, I was intrigued by the fact that you are involved with films.
My background, like back when I had my eyesight, I was doing mass communication and I was especially interested in video editing. Long story short, after I lost my eyesight, I had to give it up. But when I joined the LV Prasad Institute as a rehab counselor, I realized that I could actually get back to filmmaking because I have the knowledge. To start off, I thought, why can't I make an audio movie? So this is how I started. I wrote the script, the dialogues, and then the sound effects, like what sound effects when, and also the background score, the music, the free copyright music that's available online. And that's how the first audio movie in it was released in 2015. It was called I Am Possible. It's about a fictional character called Radhika, and she becomes a swimmer and she's visually impaired. So from there on, then I thought, since I got into audio movie, why can't I start writing scripts the way it is, the blueprint, writing the video for that particular shot, then the audio for the particular shot, then the screenplay. So it kind of worked out. And as I write scripts, and then I also direct videos with the camera person and the editor, because while I'm doing the shoot with the camera person, I tell them, okay, you can take this particular shot, and obviously there has to be a rapport between me and the camera person, and often it works great, or I depend on their judgment whether this shot is good or what. And same thing happens with the editing, because I remember, okay, out of the all the four takes, the fourth take was the final one. So we take that and we put everything together, the background score, dialogues, voiceover, narration, and that's how I've worked on several videos.
How do you actually promote these audio films?
So we have, I personally have a YouTube channel. It's called Aishwarya Pillay. So the audio movie is over there. And I also share on WhatsApp and all different social media and things like that. And for the audio movie, we did have a premiere show. So we had invited many people and we had launched it then.
And you also have made videos. What are some of the videos that you've made, and what are the themes that you've generally adopted?
So mostly it's a service related videos, because I'm a counselor here at the institute. So it could be about the services that we offer here. And one another video that I made, it's called Ability and Inclusion. So it was a video on around 6 people with visual impairment, about their struggle for, it's like a montage, a question like who are they, and then it goes on like, I'm so and so, I'm working at this, then what has been their visual impairment, so all of them answer. So it's like a montage that plays, and it promotes inclusive hiring and accessibility in workplaces. So I made that video with that theme in mind. And the most recent one I worked on is a musical theater, because I see, education and employment, there are scopes for people with visual impairment, because of whatever the orders that are coming in and the initiatives that are taking place. But I've seen, like, people say, oh, visually impaired, you all are so inspiring, nice and all that. But in the community, what I've observed is when it comes to relationships, people are often neglected. A person who's able-bodied, they may think that I may not want this person as my life partner. So to change that notion, I mean, even if the person agrees, the family may not agree. So to change that notion, recently in July, I did a musical theater. It had the dialogues, the play, also dance performance, and some songs in between to express the emotion of that particular scene. So I worked on different things, and it's been great experimenting and being successful in creating them.
If you know of anyone with vision impairment who needs guidance on living life with blindness, please share the Eyeway National Toll-Free Helpline number 18005320 The number is 18005320
Aishwarya, you were in the midst of your mass communication degree when this tumor was discovered, or you realized that you had a tumor. How far had you gone into your course, and what were the early signs of this tumor, and what was the transition period like?
So I was in my third year when I was diagnosed with the tumor. So before the diagnosis happened on 2nd September 2008. So going back to May, I started having severe headaches. I mean, I was a healthy child since my childhood. Like, I never had any issues, but suddenly headaches were like, I was wondering what it could be. And then I started having morning sickness. Every morning I would wake up and puke. Then the alarm came when suddenly, when I was riding my scooty Pep Plus, I saw a bus that in double vision. So there were, instead of one bus, I could see two buses. So that's when I knew something was wrong. And when we consulted the doctor, they said it could be a blood clot in the brain. And that's when I got to know, like after the MRI scan, got to know it was a brain tumor. So for me, it was not just the vision, eyesight alone, because after the diagnosis, within 1 month of diagnosis, I lost all my senses like taste, hearing, smell, and also I was heading for paralysis on my right limbs. Then the doctor also said I may not survive more than 3 months. So the impact of losing eyesight did not hit me then, because for me it was a battle between life and death. But I recuperated by May 2009. All my senses other than eyesight were restored. The paralysis also was fine. So I was out of the danger zone. Then, because I could not do video editing, I thought, let me get into content writing. I did few freelance projects as content writers for websites and all. Also, some of my friends, since they were into media production, they would ask me to do scripts for advertising, especially the radio jingles and all that. But my true transformation came in when I came to LV Prasad Institute. I underwent my computer training, and that's when I realized that people can actually make use of assistive technology and change their complete life. And the next year in 2013, I got a job here as a counselor, and since then I've been here, and I learned how to use a cane. I became more independent. I started using assistive apps. That like I used to ride four people on the scooty, like when I was in college. And for me to hold somebody's hand and walk after losing my eyesight, that was like very brutal on me. But now, after the cane training here, I'm able to travel alone. And lately, I've been traveling a lot. I've done solo travels, not just in flights, I've also done solo travels in train. So it's fun.
You're also a 3D painter. Now, what prompted you to get into this painting? Was it a passion for art, or was it that you wanted to demonstrate that you could innovate and a blind person could also be part of the art world?
I would say it's both. As a child, I was very fascinated about pencil sketching. My own mom, she was own mom and grandfather. They were artists, and I would see them paint and all that. And since then, I got that thing. I also want to do art, but I was more into pencil sketching. I gave it up after losing my eyesight. I was like, maybe I won't be able to, because I remember once after my vision was blurring, I had this sketchbook, and I was trying to sketch something on it, and I couldn't see, and I broke down and I tore the page and all that. So that hit me very badly, and I thought I'm never again going to take this and do it again, because I don't want to hurt myself, because sketching was some sort of mental relaxation for me. It used to balance me emotionally, so I gave it up. But I remember in 2018, I went to an art gallery. I was invited there, and I was showed around the paintings over there. And I realized that not one painting was accessible. Even the most beautiful painting through the description seemed to me like a blank canvas. And I thought, I'm somebody who always believes that if you have a problem, the solution has to start from you. And then I thought, okay, let me make something. I know how to do artwork. Let me try out something. And I created my first artwork, which had a blue background. And I took some leaves from the garden, dry leaves from the garden. I painted them yellow, and I took a small size sellotape, put it flat on the canvas, and in between the gap I glued golden beads, so they look like they were like four such circles on the blue background, like gold circles. And around these circles I glued these petals, I mean the leaves, so they look like four huge yellow flowers, and I named it Happy Blossoms. So that gave me a confidence that I can do something about 3D painting. And ever since then, my primary material to use 3D painting is aluminum foil. It works like clay. I can shape it the way I want to shape it. It is light in weight, it is not too expensive. I layer it with paper, and I use assistive technology to identify my colors with with QR labels and all that. And I do finger painting mostly. I also use things like scrubber, toothbrush, steel scrubber, scotch brite scrubber, and usually people do the background color just once, but I do it like twice, just to make sure I don't leave out on any gaps. And to interact with two colors, I use masking tape. Let's say if I'm doing the grass area and the sky area, so I cover the sky area with the masking tape so that the grass color does not go to the sky area. My background is usually plain, but the foreground has the 3D elements. So yeah, that's I've done like so far 27 3D paintings with different themes like Harry Potter, Cinderella, different kinds of I'm a dog lover, so I have all mostly 4 5 paintings of dogs, and mostly nature scenery. And I've also done some emojis, because there's description of emojis, smiley face, open mouth face, but how does it really look? So that is the reason why I started working on emojis. And I've also tried my hand on 3D models, like I've done the human heart pyramid. And my most exciting project that I did was doing the Titanic ship model, because I didn't think I remember watching the movie and also seeing the documentaries and all. I never thought I would ever do that. But from my memory, I created a Titanic ship model, and I'm very happy with that.
What is the kind of feedback that you've got from sighted people, meaning objective feedback, uh, from people whom you consider genuine in their feedback? Not that they're going to be giving you feedback out of sympathy or saying, okay, poor girl, she's blind, so she's done
Yeah,
something, so let me appreciate. But genuine feedback that
yeah.
you value.
So what I like, I have this habit of once I do something, I take feedback of, let's say, 10 people, okay, initially, okay. And now I know that there are this few people in my life who will give me a genuine feedback. They won't just to say things to make me feel good. So I go to these people, and the feedback they give me is, okay, maybe you can change this. I sometimes, like, I get the color mixing up of colors may be wrong. There was one painting of waterfalls. So I wanted, like, it's a waterfall between two huge mountains, and there's a lake at the bottom, and the water is falling into the lake. So when I was trying to do the waterfall, I realized that because it's 3D, it is popping out of the canvas. But then, because the water itself is not it water is just plain background, I've colored the water in such a way that it's just the plain background, so it was not matching. It did not look like, it looked like some extra fitting. So that I had to repeat it, based on the feedback that I got. I repeated it, like, that only that waterfall might have taken me like 15 days to make it better. And finally I got that. And especially these 5 6 people, I go by what they say, because they're genuinest feedback. And of course, the others, like, once the painting is done, and when I showed it to sighted people, some of them commented saying that, oh, even I won't be able to do such paintings having eyes. Those are some of the comments I've got.
You also uh, have done a few TEDx talks.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so tell us a little bit about these TEDx talks.
The curator of the event is Dr. Vipin Das. He is working at LV Prasad Institute. So it was on 17th September at in Hyderabad. The experience was so amazing. Like, one day before, they had the rehearsals. So there's this dugout area, and from that dugout area, there's a ramp that connects to the stage. And I walked the ramp all alone with my cane and representing vision impairment. It was a great feeling, because I worked with different sorts of people, and some people think, I have pity on visually impaired. But that day when I walked the stage, I was so happy that I was able to represent the visually impaired community. And the talk that I gave on the stage, nobody would ever, after listening to that conversation, people will, at least I know that I have left a thought in their mind, that if you ever meet a person with visual impairment again, don't go by assumptions that, they may not be able to do things. They're much more capable than that.
To support our work with the blind and visually impaired, you can visit the donate page on our website www.scorefoundation.org.in. Please note www.scorefoundation.org.in.
Tell me also a little bit about your work at LV Prasad Eye Institute.
In 2013, I was called here for a job as a counselor, and my journey began since then. And what I was then and what I am now, there's a big transformation. My work here involves, like, first thing, running a helpline for visually impaired. Besides that, I take care of the video production, if we have to make videos. So Vinay and I together, we make videos. Fundraising, like if some clients has some financial challenges, we help them out, and through our volunteers group, we raise funds. I also do volunteer coordination. Then there are a couple of projects that I manage here. I also manage the social media of our institute.
You also are into traveling, and not just traveling because you need to go from point A to point B, but you also travel and go out of the LVPI campus on exploratory trips.
Mhm.
Talk to us about that, your experience and why you do it, and what you learn from there.
So when I do when I was in my college, I one thing that one of the other things that I liked was, to ride a bike. I was playfully called the driver of our group, because I would take the bike and I would take the my friends behind me. So I would enjoy travel a lot. But again, back to 2013, I was not traveling alone. I was dependent on people and all that. But slowly, as I started using cane, my confidence was built up. And then I started traveling with people like sighted assistants. And then I realized that I think I can do this alone. So what I do is I use a lot of assistive apps, starting with, like, if I'm going to a place, I research about the place. Like, if the person has booked a hotel for me, if the organization has booked a hotel for me, I look up for the hotel on Google Maps, the reviews. At least, I mean, these are my safety guidelines, sort of a thing. Like, I go for a hotel which has of more than 4 point ratings, because you don't want to go there and have some issue. So I go, I see how many people have rated it, and how many people have, and then I check out the reviews. Not just the latest reviews, I check out the lowest reviews also, understanding, okay, this, I could be facing this. Then when I go there, once I'm into the hotel room and all that, I use, like, while traveling, when I get out to the airport, I book a cab, and when I'm in the cab, I use apps like Lazarillo to find out where my location is. And when I'm in the hotel room, I use Be My Eyes to navigate around and see what is there, or any AI apps that will help me read out the text, order food, or even for that matter, like, I can call this, a cafeteria and check out with them what is available. So I mean, it is a process. Like, if you had asked me to travel 5 years before all alone, I may not have wanted to, because I may not be equipped with that confidence and skills. But now traveling alone really makes me happy. Orientation is an important thing. Like, recently I took a train. I know, like, I take a train either in second AC or third AC. So when I'm there, I know where the washrooms are. Usually the Indian washroom is towards the left and the Western one is to. So orientation is very important when you travel. And yeah, it is just that, like, I prepare myself well for my travel, and that's how it helps. Use assistive technology, use your cane. I When I also, like, when I'm there out there in a city, I don't tend to take risks by traveling in the night a lot. Maybe after 8 o'clock, I would not want to travel, because just playing safe, you don't want to take any risk and all that.
In recent times, you also evinced an an interest uh, or a, inclination towards assistive technologies. What is it that you are kind of looking at, and what prompted you to actually get into it?
So, I've been using assistive technology since 2014, and many a times, like, developers, they come to us to test their products and devices or apps. So we have tested it out, given our feedback, and so one assistive technology that I've really worked on is the space felt. So this happened, I mean, this came to life during my conversation with Vivian. Vivian is the founder of Railmaker Innovations, and he has developed Space Welt. So we were talking about how I identify colors when I paint. And then I was like, I wish I had this QR labels that I can, tag to my acrylic. So that's how the conversation of Space World came in. I was like, I don't want to use any, external device for this. I wish it was there in my phone. And that's how the conversation started, and Space World came in, and we could use it for initially we were like, we can use this for personal things, even for clothing tags and all. And now we have gone to an extent of using it in public spaces. So that's my journey with assistive technology.
What do you see yourself doing going forward? I'm sure you're a very ambitious person. You said that in the beginning. You talked about your ambitions when you were a sighted person. But talking to you and listening to you, I think, continue to be a very ambitious person. So, what is it that you're looking out for from life going forward?
My perspective has changed, Mr. George. Honestly, back when I was doing my mass communication, yes, I was ambitious, but that moment when I was told that I may not survive, and I just had 3 months, that changed it all. What we think of future, I mean, what we think of, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that, that may never happen. All you have is your present. So now I live my life like there's doomsday tomorrow. So for me, what matters is the present. A thought comes in my mind and I execute it. Like I told you about the musical theater. That was just a thought. I was like, okay, this is what I'm seeing in the community, and let me make a play on this. So a thought came and I go do it. And tomorrow, what I want to do, I don't know. I mean, I just leave it to tomorrow, let it unveil when it wants to unveil. But what I believe is, whatever I'm doing, I need to give it my best. I need to live today like there's no tomorrow.
Aishwarya, it's been a pleasure talking to you. It's been very inspirational too. I would like to wish you the very best and keep going and keep doing what you're doing, keep doing what you love, and keep encouraging the world around you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It has been a pleasure, and really, thank you. So grateful to you.
Eyeway, ये है रोशनी का कारवां.
This podcast was brought to you by Score Foundation.
ये है रोशनी, रोशनी, रोशनी का कारवां. रोशनी. Eyeway, ये है रोशनी का